I'm Stephanie.
No, you're not.
Excuse me. That wouldn't happen to be Rocky Road there, would it?
Yeah, she is. Holy frig, Eugene, you can't catch a break, man.
Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another Walking Dead video for today. This is going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of The Walking Dead Season 11 final season. This is for Season 11, Episode 5, titled Out of the Ashes.
Need to help our friends.
I want to help.
Are you sure?
This is our home. We gotta fight to save it.
The only way this works is if we trust each other.
Okay guys, this is going to be doing another video for today. This one's going to be doing the Walking Dead video for today. This one is going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of The Walking Dead Season 11 final season. This is for episode 5, titled Out of the Ashes. So, awesome episode again this week. Absolutely awesome episode this week. Season 11 continuing on strong, and its epic final season indeed. Season 11 episode 5 is an absolute awesome episode. So, alright, now, this week's episode, we jump around a lot. We've got a lot going on this week, and let's kind of rank these down here. We've got Aaron and Jerry, Lydia, and Carol that are at the hilltop. We get to see Rosita and Judith and some others back at the Alexandria safe zone. We also get to see Maggie and Negan in this episode as they're still venturing off looking for the others. We also get to see as well, which was one of the other main ones in this episode, the first kind of, introduction to the Commonwealth community fully. So, yeah, we move around a lot. We've got a lot going on in this episode, so we're going to kind of talk about it in different little segments here. So, let's start off with Aaron and, that little group right there. So, all right, we start things off with the death of Aaron. So I was so pissed that they killed Aaron in this episode. I mean, it is such, I'm kidding. It's a dream sequence at the beginning. They tried to, of course, kind of do a bit of what, I guess was going on in Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, with Grace and stuff like that, except not as extended and not as drawn out. This was actually a cool dream sequence, a dream sequence that I actually enjoyed. Basically, you've got Aaron and Gracie that are in the woods, right? And you've got all of the enemies that we've faced, at least that of Aaron's faced, throughout the series. We've got the wolves. We got a wolf right there, one of the wolves with the W on its head. We've got a savior that comes up. We've got a whisperer, and it's just kind of like a moment where they all just murder Aaron. Of course, him and Gracie do not get back home like they planned. So it's a really crazy dream. And then we basically cut to, real life. Aaron wakes up, and we've got a breach at the wall. Part of the Alexandria wall fell, and you've got everybody that's kind of running out there. You got some of the walkers that got inside, and they're basically trying to maintain it. So, really cool introduction to the episode. Really, really good. And kind of an Aaron-focused episode this week, which I really like because he hasn't really had all that much time since One More, and even in One More, it was more a Gabriel episode, so it's kind of cool that they're giving Aaron almost his own episode here. So basically then they decide that Alexandria's their home, they got to fight to save all of it, right? They have kind of a group discussion, and basically they decide to get some of the blacksmithing tools from Hilltop. So they take the journey there, and we get to see Hilltop is just completely destroyed. Nothing's changed. You've got a lot of their people that are roaming around like walkers, and basically you've got Lydia, you've got Carol, you've got Jerry, and you've got Aaron that are going through and they're taking them out. Now, basically they run into a whisper, which I thought was really interesting. The Whispers actually made a bit of a comeback in this one, The most I thought would be the dream sequence, but no, we actually saw a Whisper show up in this episode, and basically, they kind of, interrogate this guy, and Aaron literally and Aaron, obviously, we know he's struggling a little bit in this episode, so he kind of is on edge when he sees this Whisper, and he's not really sure, and he wants to get answers from him. But Lydia knows this guy, and she kind of says he's kind of one of the good ones, So basically, they go and they lock him up, and basically, we find out that there's actually a few other Whispers down there, in the little cell or whatever that they're at. And the guy's not cooperating. They try to attempt to kind of get away and stuff like that. They kind of try to take swipes at them and stuff, and basically basically, they try to fight back, but we basically see that the rest of these guys here, the rest of these Whisperers, they're all just desperate. They all just kind of don't know what to do. Alpha's dead, Beta's dead, and they're all kind of, I guess wouldn't call it innocent, because they did try to get away, and they did, kind of try stuff, but definitely, they're not as cruel as some of the other Whisperers, right? So, very interesting that they brought that storyline back. At first, I didn't know how I felt about it, because I was kind of like, it's a little far off now. However, I do like it, because it's almost not, to bring the Whispers back just to bring the Whispers back. It's almost like for Aaron, for Aaron and his struggles, one of them is actually still around, and we'll actually find out that maybe they don't need to torture this guy that much. But the dude does lose his hand because Aaron goes so crazy, and he basically decides to, get a walker to bite his hand and kind of try to get information out of this guy. But, of course, nothing happens. But basically, the guy has to kind of lose his hand as a result. But Carol kind of warns him, and you can definitely understand where Carol's coming from, because she acted very reckless last season with the Whispers, and she is still feeling the guilt about that. And Carol says, like, this is a path, Aaron, that you don't want to go down, because I did, and look at all the stuff that's going on with me now. So kind of a cool scene between the two. She's like almost begging Aaron not to do this, and kind of just to leave the Whisper alone. So very, very interesting. But one thing I did say this week is that no, they did not rebuild the hilltop. They did not rebuild the hilltop, and that is one thing that we did not see in this episode. We did not see Hilltop Reborn. I actually did a video about this a couple days ago, and I actually was shocked. But yes, I was right. They're not rebuilding the hilltop. As I kind of said, they're probably just not wanting to rebuild the location, and if they do, it'll be a long ways from now. But honestly, I could see them just leaving this location for good, honestly, especially after seeing this episode. I think it kind of makes sense that they would probably just leave the location at this point. So definitely, that's really cool. But at the very end of the episode, we actually get information on Connie. I was actually really surprised to see that, but we did. We got some info on Connie, and we actually found out that the Whisper knows where she is nearby the cave, and Lydia can kind of show them, it sounds like. So that's a pretty interesting way to wrap up the episode there. And of course, it sets up for next week, where we're going to actually see Connie and Virgil. So, yay, Virgil, right? So, pretty cool. I like the Aaron stuff in this episode. I thought it was really good, and, remix some Whisper stuff in there. Really cool. And, really enjoyed this episode when it comes to that portion of things. Now, we also saw Maggie and Negan in this episode as well. They are kind of out there killing some of the dead together, and, Maggie still doesn't trust Negan and stuff like that. And Negan's kind of telling her, like, she's got to let go. But they basically find this house, and, there's a little bit of supplies. Negan kind of thinks, like, maybe we should just take what we have back to Alexandria, but Maggie wants to keep going. Also, she wants to find anybody else that could be out there, right? So Negan wants to take the supplies. Maggie doesn't really want him to do that, and they kind of fight over it. And it's a very kind of interesting kind of like mini fight scene. But afterwards, Gabriel and of course, Elijah, which, of course, made a return in this episode with Gabriel. Apparently, they, found each other and stuff. And now we've got all together Maggie, Negan, Gabriel, and Elijah. So that's really cool. The group is kind of forming back together in this episode, at least, a portion of it. And I thought that was pretty cool as well, too. So great to see that reunion as well, too. I thought that was really, really great to see as well, too. And I think it was a cool kind of meetup scene. Now, we also get to see in this one Judith, who basically, we've got like these teenagers who are kind of acting out, messing with some of the walkers of the dead. She's trying to train the kids, but these idiots are just kind of not really, being too cooperative and stuff. And basically, we get to see, which I don't know if you guys picked up on this week, that walker at the actual Alexandria wall that those teenagers were messing with is actually JDM's son. So there's a little fun fact for you guys this week. That's actually Jeffrey D. Morgan's son that played that walker. That's really, really cool. So I was actually really happy to see that, JDM's son actually, we got to see. Hopefully, I mean, it'd be nice to see him have like a role in this. I thought that would have been cool, but, even still as a walker, thought that was a really, really cool moment for sure. So basically, Judith kind of tells them to back off because they basically mention, no wonder your mom left and this and that. And Judith is like, say that again, right? So, Judith, absolute badass, of course, and, telling those kids off. But Then we kind of get like a badass moment, and then we also get a bit of a sad moment, because we also get to see in this one the handprints that she did with Carl way back in the day is actually broken. And she asks the kids about it, and they're just like, oh, I don't know. And basically you've got Gracie, and you've got little Herschel, and you've got RJ that basically are going to help her rebuild it and stuff, put it back together and stuff. Man, yeah, that was really sad to see. It kind of brings me back to those, those days in season 8, right? So, now after that, we get to see Judith. She's basically kind of sitting there on the porch, and we have Rosita that kind of talks to her a little bit, and how you don't, and I actually really like this, because Rosita tells her, like, look, I lost my mom when I was like a little older than you, which is pretty crazy. So we find that out, because I don't recall her saying that before. And basically she says, like, it may be broken, but you'll never forget them, and she kind of just assures her that. So Rosita, man, yeah, honestly, give her more screen time, because season 10 she like didn't do anything, and in season 11 I like it. Keep this going. Give Rosita some more screen time, honestly, because you guys know I wasn't a fan of Rosita in season 9 and 10, just because they didn't really do all that much with her, and when they did, she was sleeping with someone. So it's actually nice to see in season 11 they're kind of doing more with her. It's not by much, but she has more time in episodes. And if, they just go back to the badass Rosita we know, and not the one that hooks up with everybody, she could actually turn out pretty good in this final season. So, just saying, definitely really cool to see more of Rosita. I think that's actually really cool. Because she has been there for a while, and it kind of feels like she hasn't been doing all that much. So, really good. Like to see that as well, too. And a little scene between her and Judith I thought was really, really cool as well, too. Now, they try to get in contact with Eugene. Now, let's talk about the final thing in this week's episode. The Commonwealth. So, damn, man. Holy frig, what the hell did they do? So, we've got Lance. Yeah, that's right. I didn't think we were going to see him this early. We saw the video thing, we saw the commercial for the Commonwealth, everything. Creepy as I thought it would be as well, too, but really cool at the same time. I think Lance's introduction was really cool. As basically Yumiko and Princess and Eugene and Ezekiel all kind of have jobs to do, and they all are assigned jobs. And basically, you've got Eugene that goes around with fake Stephanie. So, boy, oh boy. Let's talk about this for a sec. So we've got the ice cream scene, right? And I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. They're getting some ice cream and stuff. But, you're kind of waiting, for something to happen. And then randomly, Margot, the actual actress for Stephanie, just pops right up there, gets some ice cream, says hi to Eugene, and Eugene's like, is that, I forget what flavor he asked her, but it's the flavor they talked about, right, on the radio. And she's like, yeah, and then she keeps going. Damn. So we actually saw real frickin' Stephanie in this one. Eugene doesn't know it yet, but we actually saw real Stephanie in this one. So, damn, dude. Yeah, when is that going to come out? That is really interesting. However, we can now say we've seen the real Stephanie on screen, which is pretty cool. And Eugene doesn't even know it yet, which is pretty interesting. So, damn, yeah, that scene was, that was something right there. Wow, yeah, just completely threw me off when I saw that. So, the next thing we also get to see is Yumiko. She reunites with Tommy, her brother, at that like little bakery or whatever. And basically they get to talking, and we basically find out that he is, actually kind of happy with the way things are, and he's happy with his life, and he doesn't really want to change it. And it almost makes him forget what crazy world is out there, as he says to her. So, yeah, really cool. So, obviously, I think the casting was great on him as well, too. Same accent, same everything like that. So, definitely it works, and it's very believable that would be Yumiko's brother. So, I think the actor did a good job for first impression. I think he's really, really good as well, too. Just really, really crazy. So, basically, let's talk about what we were talking about earlier with Rosita. Basically, Rosita tries to get in contact with Eugene in this one. And basically, you've got Eugene that talks to her. He says, like, he's okay. She tries to tell Eugene that the Whispers are dead and Alpha and Beta are dead and that they're good, but Alexandria is, running low on food. But they lose connection, and you're wondering why. You're just like, what the hell's going on? And then you basically get to see that Mercer is pissed because now he knows that there's something more than just a few traveling companions. And you know that there's more to this, and Mercer's pissed, so he arrests Eugene. And of course, he's, being put under arrest, and then you've got Lance that comes in, right? So Princess is like, is that the creepy video dude, right? So you've got him that comes in, and he basically says to let them go. Fake Stephanie's kind of standing there witnessing it. And you've got Lance that makes his first, on-screen, instead of, on a video, an actual on-screen first appearance, and says basically to let them go, and, we'll see kind of what comes of it. So, man, dude, just, wow. Honestly, Commonwealth kicked ass this week. It really did. We saw real Stephanie, Lance, we saw a great, thriving community, Yumiko's brother. I mean, damn, they packed this with a lot, honestly. So, Yumiko, and, Eugene and Princess and Ezekiel's story in this one, absolutely fan-frickin-tastic, honestly. Loved it. Loved every second of it. I thought the Aaron and, Hilltop storyline also to be 100% great. The Judith stuff, also fantastic. And then the Maggie and Negan stuff, I thought there could have been a bit more here. This is actually the one thing with the episode I will say. I do think that Maggie and Negan could add a little bit more to do in this episode, just my opinion. But again, they have had a lot this season, so it kind of makes sense. But either way, this episode was awesome. I'm going to go ahead and give this episode a 9 out of 10. Thought it was a very, very good episode with a lot of, return scenes and reveals and just crazy moments that are definitely going to further the story going forward. So, and now the question is, how has Connie been doing? That's the end of the episode. That's kind of our question. And I guess we'll have to see in episode 6. So we've got 3 episodes left of Walking Dead this year. Cannot wait to see the rest of these episodes. And yeah, guys, this episode, 9 out of 10 on my end. I thought this was a really, really awesome episode. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching this video. Write your comments in the comment section below. If you guys are new here, click the subscribe button to some of my Walking Dead videos. Follow dance, Walking Dead views, subscribe, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for another Walking Dead video. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
Anybody out there?